The Queen of Storms, Part 1. The town of Velora rested quietly between green hills and rivers, far from crowded cities and noisy highways. Life there moved slowly. People knew each other by name, celebrated festivals together, and believed nothing extraordinary ever happened in their peaceful town. But they were wrong. Among them lived a 17-year-old girl named Era. Era lived with her grandmother in a small jasmine-covered house near the edge of town. She was cheerful, kind, and loved stories about stars and forgotten kingdoms. She spent her days attending college, laughing with friends and wandering through Velora's old streets. To everyone, Era was ordinary. Even she believed that. But strange things had followed her since childhood. The first mystery was the lizards. Every morning they gathered around her house. Not one or two, dozens. They sat quietly on walls, rooftops, trees, and windowsills, as though guarding something unseen. People whispered about it. Some called it bad luck. Others said nature simply liked her. Era never understood it herself. Her grandmother always brushed the matter aside. Some questions, she would say, answer themselves when the time comes. Then there were the storms. Whenever Ira became frightened or upset, the weather changed. Dark clouds formed unexpectedly. Thunder echoed across the skies. Rain arrived without warning. Once during an argument at school, lightning struck a nearby tree so suddenly that students screamed and ran. Yet Era stood unharmed, frozen with fear. Her friends joked about it. "Storm Princess," they called her. Everyone laughed, except Kieran. Kieran had been her closest friend since childhood. He was thoughtful and calm, always noticing details others ignored. While people laughed at strange coincidences surrounding Ira, Kieran quietly watched. He noticed how animals never feared her, how lights flickered when she grew emotional, how thunder seemed to answer her feelings. One evening they sat beside the lake outside Velora. The sun painted golden reflections across the water. Kieran skipped a stone. "You ever feel different?" he asked. Era looked at him. "Different how?" "Like this place doesn't fully feel like home." She smiled. "That's a strange question." Still, she hesitated. "Sometimes," she admitted softly, "like I'm waiting for something I don't understand." Kieran nodded. "I know what you mean." She laughed lightly. "You say mysterious things." "And you attract thunderstorm," he replied. "I think we're equal." She laughed again, but inside uneasiness remained, because recently Era had begun having dreams. The dreams always felt real. She stood beneath silver skies unlike Earth's. A magnificent palace rose before her, glowing like crystal under starlight. Tall towers touched the clouds. Crowds dressed in silver knelt before her. And through cold winds, a voice whispered, "Come home." Every time she woke, her heart raced. One night the dream changed. The palace doors opened. A shadow stood upon a throne, and the voice said, "Come home, your majesty." Era woke trembling. The dream haunted her all day. That evening she told Kieran everything. He listened quietly. "You think I'm imagining things?" and she asked. He shook his head. "No." "Then what do you think?" Before he could answer, thunder rolled overhead. The sky had been clear moments earlier. Era looked up. Her fear deepened. Days passed, but the strange feeling remained. Then new faces appeared around Velora. A tall man wearing dark clothes stood near the market watching her. Another appeared outside her college. A woman followed from across the street before disappearing into crowds. Whenever Era noticed them, they vanished. At first she dismissed it. Then she began avoiding lonely roads. One evening she found her grandmother staring at old photographs. "You seem worried," Era said. Her grandmother quickly closed the album. "Just memories." Era sat beside her. "Grandma, was I adopted?" The older woman looked startled. "Why ask that?" "I don't know." For a moment silence filled the room. Then her grandmother sighed. "You came into my life during a storm," she said carefully. "That is all I can tell you." Era frowned. "That doesn't answer anything." "Some truths," her grandmother whispered, "arrive before we are ready." The answer left her more confused. That night another dream came. Only this time it was darker. She stood inside the crystal palace. Smoke filled the halls. People screamed. A crown of silver rested before her. And the same voice called again. They are coming. She woke breathless. Outside, thunder echoed, but there were no clouds. The following evening, she stayed late helping her grandmother and began walking home alone. Velora's streets were unusually quiet. Rain dripped softly from rooftops. Then she heard footsteps behind her. Her heartbeat quickened. She turned. Three figures stood at the end of the road. Their faces remained hidden beneath dark hoods. Era stepped backward. "Who are you?" No answer. The tallest figure lifted something metallic, strange and unfamiliar. Fear flooded her. She turned to run. A sudden flash of blue light burst toward her, and at that exact moment, the sky exploded. Lightning tore through the darkness. Thunder shook the streets. The ground cracked beneath silver fire. Wind roared around her. The attackers were thrown backward. Era froze. The storm surrounded her, and for one impossible second,